All right, today I'm gonna go over what I'm gonna be reading for the month of August. So first things first, I'm going to be reading Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. These are these cute little, I bought the collection of pocket, like Macmillan, I think it is, library edition. So they have these gorgeous end covers. Do you know what? Let me go get one of the things. There we go. This. So it's this like gorgeous classic pocket edition of the entire Jane Austen collection. So there's currently a Jane Austen read along going on YouTube. They're going to be reading, I believe it's Sierra Foster, going to be reading one book a month. I absolutely adore Jane Austen. I have read all of her works before, but I thought this was such a good excuse to go ahead, dive right back in and read some more of her work. I believe they're doing it through publication date. So Sense and Sensibility, of course, is going to be for the month of August. And it's so beautiful. And it's these really like delicate pages and it's illustrated as well. So it's a really beautiful edition. Next, I'm going to be reading Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty. This is book 2 in the City of Brass trilogy. I think that's the name of the trilogy, but it is a gorgeous book. I'm really excited. So I read book 1, I want to say in the month of January or February. So it's been a while. This book has been calling to me for a while, but I needed to get through a few more fantasies before I could pick something back up from a different series. So I'm really excited to give Kingdom of Copper a go. Really excited. The first one ended in such a good way. I absolutely love our main character, not Ali, but Nahiri. I love her. I love everything about her. So I'm excited to delve back into that world. I forgot to grab this one. Next, I'm going to be reading The Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. This has been on my TBR for quite a little bit now. I really enjoyed the first book and I've just been putting this off. I don't know why. It is like a denser fantasy. It's more classically written, so it's a little bit slower to get through, but it's really, really great thus far, and I'm really excited to get into book 2. I've heard nothing but great things about Robin Hobb and how I'm just going to fall more and more in love with the series as I continue it, so I'm excited to get into book 2 and just to keep it going. Next, I'm so happy to say, even though I work in a bookstore and I am a book collector, I love to frequent the library. I just love the experience. I love to support it. I donate to the library. So I'm happy to say that Alberta's libraries have reopened for us to browse through. I do still wear my mask. I am fully vaccinated, but it's still such a treat to be able to go in and browse. And upon my first visit, I found the Jasmine Throne. I was eyeing this at work, but I just figured it was on their little just arrived kind of trolley. So I saw it and I just couldn't resist picking it up. I've heard really good things already about it, but I'm going to pick this up after I finish Kingdom of Copper, as S.A. Chakraborty did blurb it at the top. I'll probably wind up buying this anyway, but I really want the paperback edition. I've been really into paperbacks a lot more than hardcovers lately, so as gorgeous as this is, I think I'm going to wait for the paperback to come out. But I'm really excited about this one. Couldn't really tell you what it's about, but I can't wait to give it a go. I'm also going to be reading The Great Hunt. This is becoming almost ridiculous on my channel. I think this has been on my TBR since I read book 1, and I have yet to crack this open, although I do have a bookmark in it now, so progress. It's book 2 in the Wheel of Time. I don't know what's stopping me from continuing, although I just found out my big brother is currently reading book 1, so that will probably spur me on to read it a little bit more. Yeah, the TV shows coming out, besides the fact I just really want to continue on with the series. So I keep telling myself I'm gonna read it, and I keep putting it on my TBR in hopes that it will convince me to pick it up at some point. I just haven't. I don't know why. We're in the middle of a heat wave, and I'm wearing a cardigan. I'm sweating, but it makes my skin look dewy, so that's okay. Next, I'm going to be reading All's Well by Mona Awad. This, of course, is her third book. I read Bunny, and I read 13 Ways of Looking at a Fat Girl. I'm so pleased to be able to say I received an ARC. This actually releases on the 3rd anyway, so not too long to wait, but I'm very excited to read this. Mona Awad has quickly turned into one of my favorite contemporary fiction writers. I did pre-order All's Well. I was just lucky enough to receive an ARC, which I'm very happy about. Very, very lucky. And last on the list, I'm going to be reading In an Absent Dream, continuing on with Shauna McGuire's Wayward Children series. This is a series I've really been loving throughout the year. I'm excited to go a little bit further into it, as each story, in my personal opinion, has not only developed the world, but it has made me grow more and more fond of the series. So I'm really excited to tackle this one. Essentially, the Wayward Children series is book 1 takes place. We learn the wayward children are children who at one point in time were transported into a magical world, and for one reason or another have found themselves back on planet Earth. Each door that opens is unique to his or her own perspective, and it's the door that they follow to go to whatever magical realm parallels what the child needs or wants or is seeking in their life. Oftentimes these children really fall madly in love with these worlds before sort of being unceremoniously kicked out, or finding themselves even mistakenly back onto planet Earth. And they sort of collect in this school as they try to find their way back to their door, if at all possible. And each novella is sort of a capsule story that either takes place at that school or takes place in different worlds that children find themselves in. So it's a really beautiful series. It feels simultaneously whimsical and really heavy hitting. And I don't really know any other way to describe it. Shauna McGuire is just a phenomenal writer, and I did recently pick up her book 1 in the October Day series. I believe it's called Rosemary and Rue, something like that. So I'm excited because I know this is coming to an end. I think book 7 comes out in January. So I know at some point I'm gonna run out of Shauna McGuire, and I wanted to have the first October Day novel sitting on my shelf ready to go. So that is all I have currently sitting on my TBR. I'm sure I'll pick up other books as the month goes on that suit my fancy, but those are going to be my prioritized titles that I really want to make time for. And I'm really excited for the month of August. I heard it's supposed to be warm, so it's going to be a lot of days just putting my picnic blanket in the park, sitting in the sun, and a nice full day of reading. That being said, I'm going to wrap this video up and get to reading right now, and I will see you guys in my next one.